Hi there, just making a quick video in regards to dealing with mental health over Christmas, over the holidays. And originally I was going to kind of make it in a way of advice and tips, but I think I've quickly realised that I don't really have a huge amount of advice in some ways, and I'm kind of struggling with it myself, so it's kind of dealing with that. Yeah, I think the first thing that came to my mind was to always sort of listen to how your body's feeling and how your mind's feeling, and if you need sort of space during those times, if you're with family and you need to just go out for a walk or just leave the room, perhaps have something sort of prepared to say, that you just want to leave, and it's okay to not have a reason, to simply say, I can't explain it, I just need to get some space. It's so easy to try and endure and just survive, and it can be really painful, and it can take a long time to try and recover from that. But as soon as you're aware of your own sort of space and how you're feeling, sure, there's going to be moments of difficulty where you're kind of toughing it out, moments of difficult conversations, having to make small talk, perhaps with people you haven't seen in a long time. Fortunately for me, I've got just like a simple sort of dinner with some family. It won't be a huge amount, so I know it's going to be a lot anyway for me. Just when I visit there, generally, as I mentioned on previous vlogs, I think I've mentioned the sort of the noise sensitivity I have, and I think I'm going to struggle with that for sure. And of course, on the day, who knows how I'm going to be feeling, so it's good to kind of listen to yourself, how you are on that day. You can of course have stuff prepared, but if you're feeling a lot worse than you are, then sometimes what you've prepared or what you've planned may not be as applicable as how you're feeling. So yeah, I plan to give myself space and time. I think a couple of times in the holidays in the past years, I've kind of just gone for some walks on my own when it's gotten a bit much. I remember, my kind of younger brother was opening up presents, and there's lots of, it's almost felt like a bit like a hysterical energy about it, and I just needed to leave. And so I managed to say I just want to go some fresh air, and I walked around the block, and that really helped a lot. So also I'm going to take a couple of things with me. I often take things with me when I visit family. I take my headphones, noise cancelling headphones, I'm lucky to have, and those kind of take the edge off. I don't think there's any headphones that completely kind of cut out all noise, especially conversation noise. I don't think it's more for like white noise or things like traffic, but it does dampen it down a lot, especially if I'm kind of listening to music as well. That helps. So yeah, I'm going to take my journal as well. It's just a way to kind of almost hide in plain sight in some ways, so I can just put my focus into that if I need to, if there's an awkward moment or I need to do that. And there's also, like, the bathroom is also a really great place just to have a private moment, just to take a few breaths. So that can be a useful tool, just to, even if you don't need to use the bathroom, just to go in there and just close the door, lock the door, and you've just got a few moments to just close your eyes, do what you need to do, just even if it's just standing on the other side of the door, just getting a few, a little bit of space, a little bit of quiet. So that's quite useful to do as well. And I find sometimes I won't be seeing a lot of like new kind of faces or people I haven't seen in a long while, so there won't be that challenge of small talk. But I can imagine for a lot of you there's going to be the challenge of, hey, how's it going, how's life, what are you up to, and and you might be in a position where that's the last thing you want to talk about. You've just I can, in my situation, it would be really difficult because I'm not working. I've not really in regards to small talk. There's not really a lot to offer. A lot of the small talk is what you're doing, how's work, and what you almost is asking what you kind of achieving in life. What are you progressing in is usually what they expect as the answer, because people, when they say small talk, they're like, this is going well, that's doing great, I'm looking forward to this promotion, or I'm working on this degree, and it's kind of want to impress them in some ways to say like, I'm doing well in life. And if you're in a certain situation where you're struggling with health, and it may seem like on the outside, on a really superficial levels, that you're not doing much, it can really come across that way for those people who find that stuff important. So that's incredibly stressful. So perhaps there's something you can prepare, like a line or two of something to prepare, to kind of say to them, and you can even be something like, I just don't feel like talking about, the essence of that would be like, I don't feel like talking about this, and you can kind of put it in your own words. Or you can almost deflect as well and ask about them. And there's also the path of honesty as well, just to say, I'm struggling right now, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff, but I'm working on it, and that's perfectly fine as well. Sometimes the truth is the easiest answer, to be transparent. And of course I'm going to be using like the practice of being present and mindful. That's always good to do. It's very helpful. It's going to be hard enough as it is, but with the extra like mental narrative and commentary, it can make it so much worse. You can go to kind of 0 to 60 in a few seconds with just like some really difficult thoughts. So it's good just to use that tool as well, to stay grounded in your body. If you're sitting on a chair talking to someone, you're aware of your breathing, you're aware of there's a little bit of space between you and your thoughts, and what's happening outside of it, interactions, and and it's important to kind of look at this in a bigger perspective. It's one sort of day, one dinner. So even if you were to almost leave early, that's just do whatever's best for you, which is, it's hard to do in a moment, but realizing it's just a for those who are kind of celebrating just as a family get together, and in that circumstance, it's not like the end of the world. It's harder said than done, because I'm not sure, I'm saying these words, so I'm not sure I'll have the strength to do that if I was to do that. But maybe in a critical, if I was feeling completely gone, then that's maybe something I do. But just know there's a few options there. Of course, at some point you may have to just take a few conscious breaths, in the middle of a conversation, when it's the last thing you want to do is talk to is make conversation, talk about certain things, and see people, and generally I'm not really sure how I feel about guess part of me, it's hard to, I wouldn't say look forward to stuff, but just to, automatically there's kind of thoughts about how to manage that situation versus, it's going to be, perhaps I'll have some fun and it will be nice there. And so it's hard not to it's hard to be hit with those thoughts initially when thinking about kind of the holidays and that sort of stuff. But yeah. Today perhaps this won't be just a Christmas sort of advice video. Maybe I'll talk about my day as well. Today I kind of rested today. I don't think I recorded anything yesterday, but but I kind of went for a walk with a family member, and it was good to get out. I was struggling to get out today. I wanted to go for a walk, but I live in quite a built-up area, so there's not really any nice sort of places to walk. It feels like I need like a purpose to get out. If I was to walk to, it's like a big kind of open park, which is about a 30-40 minute walk away. So it kind of makes it a bit purposeful for us to walk there, or even walking to get some groceries. But I didn't have the feeling to walk to the big park. I was just feeling, and I kind of wanted a medium walk, but I didn't fancy just walking around out in the neighbourhoods outside. It just feels quite busy and built up, so it feels a little bit claustrophobic as well. The roads are quite narrow, and so I was just wanting to get out but not knowing where to go really. There was that small park close to me, but I just couldn't get myself to go there. So so it was nice to get a phone call from a family member and asking if they wanted to meet for a walk, so that was good. Went to grab a coffee, and as I was drinking the coffee I was like, did I ask for decaf? Because I'm quite sensitive to caffeine as well. Surprise, surprise, sensitive to that as well. So if it's early in the day and I've had like some food, usually I'm okay with caffeine, with like 1 cup of coffee, but this was quite late in the afternoon, and so I'm hoping, I just can't remember at all if it was decaf or not. I feel okay right now, but sometimes the caffeine kind of just creeps up on you later on. I'll just get suddenly a caffeine hit later in the evening, and it'll just hit me. It comes, a wave of the caffeine that I drank earlier. So it kind of affects me in different ways, but we'll see how that goes. I've just been watching. I finished watching like all the episodes of In Treatment that I wanted to watch. I didn't watch like every episode of past seasons, but just of the patients I liked. And now I'm kind of on probably one of my favourite shows I watch is called ER. It's an old medical drama I've watched tons of times. I think I've mentioned that before, that I'd like watch that for the rest of my life, or I don't know if it was that or Homeland, but either way both of those are like repeatedly watched. But I'm on, for those if anyone does end up watching this, I'm on like season 3 of ER, so, and it's feels like it shows in different phases of cast and characters. It's like different sets of doctors and sort of different times and different seasons, so kind of separate it. So it's still like almost most of the original cast that started off in the episodes I'm watching. So I may watch a few more episodes of that tonight. It's quite early evening. Usually I record quite closer to bed, but it's still early evening. I have to make dinner, and I'm planning to make some noodles actually, with some like I'm going to roast some sort of frozen mixed veg and season that, and have some noodles with some soy sauce and maple syrup, mix those together, and there's some like baked tofu bites that I'm going to put in the oven to have with it. So hopefully it's kind of a sort of healthy meal, something other than pizza and burgers, which is what I've been having a lot of recently. Yeah, so I plan to kind of make that. I may potentially go outside to the park to upload this, even though it's pitch black outside. I kind of want this uploaded. It would be nice if it's uploaded tonight. And yeah, I'm going to watch some ER and relax a little bit. I think just going out for that walk, that was quite good to acknowledge myself for. And that was, yeah, it's now been nice just to rest in the evening now. Yeah, even like recording this, I kind of pushed myself a little bit to record it. And I'm noticing as well, like I'm recording this on my phone, and when I play it back, the sound is really loud. But after I've uploaded it to YouTube, it sounds really quiet for some reason. I don't know why that is. I'm not sure if it's to do with some sort of compression that takes place and the quality changes. But I'm kind of wearing this little mic that I use for the podcast, so I'm hoping that will improve the sound, or at least keep the sound up more, to keep it higher up. Yeah, I briefly want to touch upon tomorrow as well. I have my counselling session tomorrow, and I'm quite anxious about it because I want to talk about the possibility of getting assessed for complex PTSD. But I just feel really paranoid about it. It feels like I am scheming for something, like scheming for a diagnosis, or let's add this to it, perhaps I can. So yeah, and I just feel like I'm just going to be, there's lots of barriers to go through. Like I'm just hoping, when I explain it to the counsellor, that it's going to be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, let's see how we can help you with that. But I'm just, I guess I'm anxious about how to explain it, how to bring it up, to say, I've just looked up symptoms of complex PTSD and I think I have that, and it just feels really odd to say. So I may email her tonight, potentially, and even if it's read the next morning, just email her to say I want to talk about in the next session complex PTSD, and perhaps I can add a little bit to it where how I'm just finding it difficult to express myself and to talk clearly about stuff. And I may mention to her about the autism assessment as well. Someone said to me about whether getting privately assessed for autism, and I'm trying to think if I've misheard somebody, but I think it can cost hundreds of pounds to get diagnosed, and I'm not sure if that's accurate, but I may have to look it up, and not sure if I've got that to spare, really. And it sounds weird, it just feels like a waste of money. Like if they come back to me and say, no, you're not autistic, I'm thinking, okay, great, that's like, whatever X amount of money down the drain. But it sounds silly because it's like my health and you can't put a price on that, and it's so I'm not too sure what to do about that, really. But yeah, perhaps I can write an email to my counsellor, try and keep it short if I can. I don't want to write like a huge long email. Just to say, like in tomorrow's session, can we do this? And I can kind of convey to her that I'm writing it here in email because it's difficult to explain myself, even though I probably have to talk about it anyway more. And I may just recheck the NHS website of the symptoms of complex PTSD. So I can't remember I know one of them is like repeated trauma from a parent, I think. But maybe good to refresh myself before the session tomorrow, so I can kind of reference stuff to her But yeah, I'm just feeling a bit stressed and worried about that. Yeah, so one thing I need to do is like empty my bins. They're like my food bin and my regular kitchen bin is like really full up, and it just feels like such a weight to do that task. It's like the other times I've kind of left here to go out, I've always been in a bit of a hurry, like to meet somebody, or like I haven't my usual plan that helps me is when I empty it and take it out when I leave. But yeah, I haven't been able to do that. So I thought my kind of plan was to record this, and a part of what would help me go outside is that I'm uploading this video. So it's kind of using that as a motivation to kind of empty the bins and go outside and then upload this as well. So yeah, I've been doing that more and more recently, trying to find little rewards or little things that help me to do something else, and like, buying certain foods in order to me to get myself outside to buy groceries, which again is not the healthiest thing, but it's the only thing I can think of right now. And it's kind of an old links a little bit to CBT, because I think there's, as far as I remember, there's like you set goals and reward yourself for them as well. Well, I'm guessing I'm not like formally setting goals, but maybe for me it's just tasks of doing something. But yeah, I'm so hoping the sound from this is better. And I'm also aware that I'm quite soft spoken. My voice is like really low, and so I don't know, that's partly it as well. When it does like upload and process and render onto YouTube, I'm not sure if the sound gets quieter, which doesn't do my voice any favors. So I don't really want to like start shouting into not shouting, but speaking loudly into the just for these vlogs. But that's some stuff, and yeah, so I think I'll end this video. Just for those watching, if you watch, it's funny on YouTube, I don't think there's so much stuff saturated on there, so kind of I don't know if anyone will end up actually watching these, but if you are, I hope you have a good Christmas, a good holidays, and hope you're able to take care of yourself, and just check in with yourself in each moment and do what you need to do to take care of yourself and cope. Okay, take care. Bye.